well. It's wonderful to see you all here for tonight's Lake Wales City Commissioner Candidate Forum. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Juanita Dvorak, President of the American Association of University Women, Lake Wales Branch, and immediate past President of the GFWC Women's Club of Lake Wales. Representing our combined membership, I take pleasure in welcoming you all, both candidates and audience, to this event. It's taking place in a historic building that's owned and operated by the Women's Club. We present this forum as a community service, and we hope that you will all leave well informed regarding the candidates who will be on the ballot April 4th, and we hope you will all go out and vote. I have to draw your attention to the emergency exits. There's one there, and there's one right through these doors. There's also an exit through that room over there. Okay? And the men's room is this one, and the ladies' room is that way. And I'm going to ask you to turn off your cell phones at this time, or just mute them, make them have them vibrate if possible. Our moderator, Jessica Bray, is a longtime member of both the Women's Club and AAUW. And our timekeeper here is Charlene Bennett of AAUW, who has done this many, many times. So at this time, I'll turn the podium over to Jessica Bray, and she will proceed.
Thank you, Juanita. Okay, I'm going to just quickly go over what the format will be. All of our candidates know because they got a letter with everything in it, including some questions that we are going to ask them. Okay, the first thing will be they will each be given 3 minutes to do an opening statement. And once we're done with that, we'll go on to the questions that they had already been provided. There's 5 of them, and each one of them will have an opportunity to answer it. After that, we're going to open the audience to questions. We'll allow questions. You can come on up. I'll be down on the floor with the microphone, and I will hold on tightly. Nobody's going to run away with it. We're going to all be nice. Remember, this is a forum, not a debate, so we're going to be respectful of our candidates and give everybody a chance to have their say. There's another way with your questions. When you came in, I'm sure you were told, but you can write your question on an index card. And the only thing I would say to you is if there's a specific candidate that you want to answer that question, please put their name down. We will ask them first. Any questions asked, of course, will be offered to any of the candidates to answer. So with that, we're going to get going. And we're going to start with our opening remarks. Keith?
Thank you, Jessica, and thank you to all of you who are here and engaged in this candidates forum. It's a great crowd and see a lot of friendly faces out there, so I appreciate every one of you coming. My name is Keith Thompson. I've lived in Lake Wales for almost 55 years. I'll be 55 in June of this year, June 8th to be specific, so if you want to plan on a birthday present, I'm open for it. I am married to my wife, Krista. We have almost been married 32 years. We have a daughter named Abigail who is grown out of the house, married, and has blessed us with a granddaughter, Ellie Faye, and is going to bless us with a grandson in August. I don't think I'm allowed to say the name. So, I decided to get into the political arena here in Lake Wales because I love this city, I love its residents, and I care about the future of this city deeply. My campaign platform is simply to inspire and elevate a better conversation, a better way to talk about the issues that face us. And I think it's vitally important that we do that, and we do that with haste. We are allowing social media presence to creep into our public debate, and I don't think it's a good thing. And so I encourage everyone to join me in that endeavor, and I hope that you will consider voting for me on April 4th. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. Michelle?
Good evening. Thank you to everyone that came out. My name is Michelle Threets. I am what I think one of your favorite food truck owners in this city, Topsy's, A Taste of Love. I am also the CEO of Working On to Complete complete the paperwork for a nonprofit, The Village, which the slogan is "Love is what love does," and we feed kids for the last. We'll be going into our 4th year of feeding children and adults for free. We started out in the pandemic from March to August, feeding almost 3,000 children and adults. I am also one of the Lake Wells Housing Authority commissioners. I am an author of Life Moments to Inspire, Laugh, and Pray, which is on the back. I do have some available, and I have my card reader with me. And I am the mother of 2 sons that drive trucks. I am the grandmother of 5, 2 boys and 3 girls. And I have a fabulous sister that is a diva that is sitting in the back, and host of Friends, and I just want to thank you all. I have been recognized for my community work for the last 4 years through ALPE, which I was nominated for and received and won the Community Service Person of the Year Award for the Southeastern District of Florida. I've been recognized on Bay News 9 and several other social media platforms, news, and newspapers, because I truly believe in the slogan, "Love is what love does." I love this city. I'm the president of the Northwest Neighborhood Association in my community, and I love being a part of it. And I just want to take the change that I'm already involved in, have shown that I'm involved in, being more involved as a commissioner in this city. I want you to vote with your heart and vote for seat 3. And I'm just looking forward to just doing more work that we're already doing. It's easy for us to say we want change, but one thing I say all the time, if you want change, change, and that starts with you.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Danielle?
I don't think we turned the microphone on.
Oh, you're not on?
Is it on? Can you guys hear me?
I think you just turned it off.
Oh, sorry.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for taking the time out to join the forum. My name is Danielle Pride Gibson, and I have been in Lake Wells for the last 33 years. Just a short story. I ended up here because my parents were infertile. They were foster parents. And they saw a little girl in the foster care system. I went through about 8 foster homes before I ended up here in Lake Wells. So I feel like I've already beaten the odds already with that, and I'm thankful that I ended up here in Lake Wells. I'm 36 years old, and I'm an alumni of Lake Wells High School, class of 2005. I'm married to previous City Commissioner Curtis Gibson. We're raising 5 children here in the city of Lake Wells, 4 which are on the road students, and we have a 2-year-old at home. Some background about myself. I specialize in customer retention. That's something I've been doing for the last 16 years. Some with major corporations such as Verizon. I started with them when they were MCI. Did that about 7 years, 2 years at AT&T, and then I've been in Geico's retention specialty department for almost the last 10 years. Also been a licensed insurance agent within that same time frame. The reason that I chose to run for city commission is that I love people. What I do, you have to love people. I'm no stranger to hard work, tough questions. I feel like with the growth that we are expecting here in Lake Wells, I want to be that person that gets out in the community. I'm knocking on doors, wanting to know more about what the citizens want here in Lake Wells. I'm also the vice president of our homeowners association in Whispering Ridge community, which I've been there for a few months. So I felt that the community needed to have a turnaround, more personable with the residents out there. So I say, hey, I'm going to put my name in the hat, and I was elected as vice president. I've been listening to residents, young, middle age, and more seasoned in age, and I've been taking the time out to learn over the last couple of months about our city government, because I know this would be new to me. I'm not your average politician. And I say I'm going to step my game up. I'm going to apply what I already know and what I can bring in. And I hope to earn your vote and your support on April 4th. Vote Danielle Pride Gibson for City Commission, seat 5.
Thank you, Danielle. Robin?
Thank you. Robin Gibson, and we moved here in 1966 to raise a family. I did that, and the town was good to us. And the proof of that is 4 wonderful children, married to my wife, Jean, for 61 years. It says here, your background and why it prepares you for a seat on the commission. I don't often tell people these kind of things, but this is what it asks for. Why are you prepared for a seat on the commission? I'm a graduate of University of Florida and majoring in political science. I'm a graduate of the law school there. I've served as general counsel in Tallahassee to a governor. I've chaired the Board of Regents of the State University System of Florida. I am the author of an amendment to the Florida Constitution, which establishes the present governance system for universities, which is working very well. And in doing that, I defended it successfully in the Florida Supreme Court. So in addition to the state things, I've done some things locally. Many years ago, I chaired the Downtown Development Commission for the City of Lake Wales. And for that, we received a national award. The mayor and I went to Washington, D.C., the White House, and accepted that award by the city. I authored the sign ordinance here. It banned billboards, and the billboard industry attacked that. I successfully defended that all the way to the Florida Supreme Court. I had a lot to do with the establishment of the Community Redevelopment Agency in Florida in 1985. And it went on from there. And one thing that just got me really upset was it did nothing. There was no redevelopment, and so I have only 30 seconds left. I ran for office to try and fix that, and we now have with the help of some wonderful city commissioners, we have the Lake Wales Connected Plan. I had a lot to do with the creation of our charter schools here, which now is high school, one of the best in the country. Okay, that's it.
Okay, we're going to start on the prepared questions now, and we will start with Keith. Okay? The city appears to continue a strong focus on promoting economic growth. Are there other areas of endeavor you feel are being neglected?
I hope you will take one of these that are back there in the back, because we only have 1 minute to answer these questions, and I can't clear my throat in 1 minute. So I hope you will take the time to read the printed answer to this question. I don't believe that this is a matter of areas of neglect. I have met with city officials, and I've watched archive commission meetings, and I've seen the multifaceted approach that our city's taking right now. I think it's about what we can do better. I work for a company that challenges us to be elite, to happen to the world, to not stand around wondering what the heck just happened. And I think it's important for us to challenge our city to be elite in all of these areas, which means you're not only the best, you're the best of the best. Our city has won many awards here lately for things that they've done, and I think we need to foster and encourage a positive, proactive, and optimistic future for our city. No one works well defensive and feeling like they're under attack.
Thank you. Michelle?
I'm not going to say that it's neglected, but two things that are very important to me. our children and our elderly. More programs for our children, because they're our future. We're sitting here, you know, wanting you all, wanting your vote, but our children are our future. So we need to set up some programs, talk to the parents. What are the needs for our children? I walk around quite often and speak with our elderly in my community, asking questions of things, what would they like to do? A lot of them just want somewhere to go. Maybe we could set up something. I already partnered with a young lady with Aetna, and we're actually going to be meeting in 2 weeks in reference of speaking about some things we could set up for our elderly. Our children, we have to pour into our children because they're ours, and it takes a village, not just one. And as a statistic, and was a single mom, we need help, and we should be helping our children with their future.
To that question, I try to stay away from negative words. I wouldn't say jobs directly, but I've heard multiple times while going out talking to residents that there's 2 lake wells. As we know, the city has big emphasis on the Lake Wells Connected Plan. I think it's awesome. However, I want to make sure the Lake Wells Connected Plan is actually serving its purpose and is actually connecting the communities together. My plan would be to continue with the Connected Plan, and we want to make sure that we bring all of our communities together in all the districts.
The question says, promoting economic, are there other areas of endeavor you feel are neglected? I don't think we're neglecting, but if we don't do something about these, we will be neglecting them. 1, rampant growth. And March 20 kicks off our initiative toward handling that with the Lake Wales Envision Plan. 2, the water supply. And we have a big issue as to whether we go regionally or on our own. 3, economic prosperity. I don't have any more time. Revitalize the old industrial area. And 5, seeing the Lake Wales Connected Plan through to the end.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next question is question number 2, and we're going to start with Michelle this time, okay? It's, what can the city do to improve its communication with Lake Wales citizens?
2 big words: transparency and accountability. Those are the 2 big words for me. If we, as city commissioners and elected city officials that you vote for, be honest, be clear, let you know what's going on, talk with you, listen to you. And even though we may agree to disagree, we all just have 1 vote. But if that 1 vote, make that 1 vote count. We have to listen and be transparent about what goes on in our city. And from the outside looking in, some things I think may not go as disrupt, I'm not gonna say disrupt, but cause a negative impact or think someone is hiding something if we talk and be transparent about it. Transparent and hold those that need to be held accountable.
Thank you. Danielle?
This is actually something I specialize in. With my line of work, I think it's very important to be personable with our residents, getting out to know them, but listening. Our citizens want to make sure they're being valued and also heard, but also sometimes I feel like there's a breakdown of communication. Me and myself, I would periodically want to have like a round table with the residents in the area, just so if it's something that needs to be brought to the attention of our commissioners if elected, I want to make sure that the citizens are being heard, and I want to implement that on the commission if elected.
Okay, thank you. Robin?
The question has to do with communication. Communication is a 2-way street. You can't communicate all by yourself, and people have to take advantage of what's available. The city is on all of the social media platforms. A newsletter is delivered to the house. Meetings and agendas are on the website. The website also contains the events, word from the city manager. The History Museum is here. Grove Manor has their communication. Park Avenue Connector Trail is talked about, community feedback, street improvement plan. There are lots of opportunities for good communication from the city.
Thank you.
Transmission and reception. The U.S. Navy drilled that into me as a communication specialist. Station can broadcast all day, every day, but if there's no one to listen, it does not matter. All the things that Robin just listed are here in this packet if you want to see them written down. The city does, I think, an admirable job trying to put communication out. I actually signed up on the website to get the notifications from the website about meetings. Ask me how many times I've ignored them. Too many times. You have to open it. You have to have a responsibility to listen and to understand and want the information. I think it's incumbent upon us as citizens, as elected officials, to join together in that responsibility.
Thank you. Okay, question number 3, and this will start with Danielle. A report given at a recent commission workshop projected that Lake Wales will exceed its maximum water supply contract with SWIFMUD in 5 years based on our current rate of development. How will you deal with this as a commissioner?
Well, as of right now, based off of what I was able to research, the city already has taken an approach with it. So they're going to be looking for their own water supply. That's actually going to help us save money right away. It's going to help the taxpayers not having to worry about maybe their taxes being increased. But also, if that does not work, where we're not able to find our own water supply, we do have the Polk Water Cooperative Plan that at a later time that we would be able to buy in if need to be to make sure that we're sustaining our water supply.
Thank you. Robin?
The question has to do with how we will deal with this as a commissioner. I have dealt with it as a commissioner. What we are doing, and the commission has worked very well together on this along with the administration, is we are exploring being independent. And if we can possibly be independent, we're spending some money to find out, that would be the way to go. We can also sell water, and that would be an advantage to the city as well. So the commission is working, I think, very well on this issue now.
Thank you.
Part of the problem is it's based on worst case scenario assumptions. It's based on the idea that 8,000 homes are going to be built in Lake Wales in the next 5 years. That would be Lake Wales permitting 1,600 homes a year. All of last year, Lake Wales permitted 77 homes total. So if we had that rapid pace of growth and expansion, yes, we would have a problem in 5 years. So that's one thing I think, just for citizens to kind of rest their head easy on their pillow at night. I don't think we have a problem of running out of water. The Polk Water Cooperative is drilling wells right now. We're also looking into our own source of water. I'm in full support of that plan. I think it needs to go full steam ahead. Options are always a good thing.
Thank you. Michelle?
One thing I've learned about our little big city, we like to be the boss and be in control. So I'm sure within the next 5 years, right now, we are in our own supply. In 5 years, with the growth that we're having, I can't sit here and tell you exactly what I will do in 5 years. What I can tell you is that whatever the issue is with the water that is presented to me as a city commissioner, I'm going to get all the information, I'm going to read up, I'm going to make the best decision for our water supply. Lake Wales like to stand on their own and not depend on others. That's what we're kind of known for. We stand on our own, and I'm quite sure we're going to keep it that way.
Okay, thank you. Our next question is going to start with Robin Gibson. How well do you think the processes of our city government work? What changes, if any, would you propose to improve these processes?
I think generally our processes work pretty well. However, I'm very concerned about two things which I believe were an embarrassment to the city, and I think we have to look into. One was the confusion that there was about the administrative hearings on the ADS plan, the starts and the stops and the postponements. That was embarrassing. Two is the 180-degree change that was made with regard to public comments and petitions. I think all of that should come out for the public so everybody knows. I've heard it, what everybody knows, and we, as a collective judgment of the city, deal with it.
Thank you. Keith?
As I've engaged city officials, I think the processes actually work pretty well. As a commissioner, I think I would, well, I know I would. I would want to engage citizens outside of just the boundaries of a city commission meeting. I would like to have, more casual forums where people have more than 5 minutes to talk to me about issues. I think it's great that we've changed it. I think access to your government is always a good thing, and I wouldn't do anything to limit it. So just as a personal commitment, I would want to be available, accessible, and approachable.
Thank you. Michelle?
One thing, I've been going to the city commissions now for meetings for the last 4 years. For the most part, the meetings have went pretty well. The only two where I was present that I'm like, I don't know about this, was one when we went through the conversations from so many showing up in reference of the cameras with the police department and the recent for the public comments and petitions. The public comments and petitions, I was one that went up to the podium to say, if you live in the city or even just right out of the city, we should be able to listen to you. We spend a lot of money in our city. Those that may live Mammoth Grove or other areas should be able to come to our city commissions and speak. And I'm glad that they opened it up a little more. I would love to see the availability for myself, and if elected, I will be available.
Thank you. Danielle?
The current processes that the city has in place right now, I think they work. The city commission, they rely on staff recommendations, and I believe that we would put well-qualified people in those positions to be able to make the decisions that they have to make on behalf of the city. However, if something comes up, if it don't sound right or look right, I would want to make sure, if elected as commissioner, that I'm doing my due diligence to research. And if it's wrong, we need to correct it and fix it.
Okay, thank you. Last question. Oh, I'm sorry, Robin, your turn? Oh, we started with you. Okay, all right, we'll start. Excuse me. All right, this is question number 5, and this one will start with Keith. Okay, the Lake Wales Comprehensive Plan reads, the city shall consider developing a sustainability plan that addresses climate change. Do you support this concept? And if yes, what would you do to drive the development and subsequent implementation of this plan?
I'm all for doing any sensible things that we can to minimize our footprint on the climate. It's a global problem, so it is pretty difficult to see exactly how we would fit in and what we do that would accomplish that. On the sustainability side, I think the city's already doing a lot of great things. We were the first city to adopt the Florida Water Star Verification Program. The city has passed a dry line ordinance so that homes that are being built will actually be able to connect to water reuse for irrigation. It's also pursued more efficient and cooler LED lighting in the city. So anything we can do to encourage sensible and effective solutions, I am all for.
Good. Michelle?
Climate change is so much bigger than us in our little big city. And in reference of the climate change, you know, sometimes I'll tell my sister and my family, I have told them, I say, you know, this heat is a little different this year, or the winters have been a little colder. And I say, you know, it's a lot going on with this. And because I'm not one to sit here and make up stuff to tell you, I'm still learning about this weather, reading on it, the climate change. What I do know is when the time comes for us to sit to discuss anything that we could do to help get with other organizations, the bigger people that can make the big changes in reference to the climate. That's what I can do as a elected city commissioner.
Thank you. Danielle?
So I had to do my research on this. In our connected plan on page 61, to be exact. I like what's in the connected plan, making we have the sidewalks that help with this. Also, I know that the city has land that's allocated. I know it's a global thing. However, there is still small things that we can implement in the city. I know that the city does have some land that maybe we can allocate, maybe do a solar plan. Maybe we can partnership with Duke Energy to have more cleaner energy. Just one recommendation that I would use.
The question has to do with sustainability, and I say a strong yes to that. The Florida Water Star program, which our commission has already adopted, is a great example for that with water conservation. Our town was selected as one of the few small towns to receive the installation of fiber optic. I favor solar power. Incidentally, I have 16 solar panels on my roof, and my car is electric. My car is powered by the sun, by the way. And St. Petersburg has a wonderful study on the climate action, sustainability, and Lake Wales Heritage has just done a magnificent job in this town going forward with the Olmsted Plan. The shade from trees does remarkable things for temperature and for oxygen.
Thank you. John? Okay, I'm going to come on down to the floor, and if anybody has questions they'd like to ask, if you want to come up front, and I will entertain them. Anybody like to come up? Okay, if not, I'll start with the written questions. We have one here. It says, I am saddened to see campaign signs in several right-of-ways. How can we control the litter of improper placement of signs? I will open it to whoever would like to start. Or I will ask Robert. Because I'm looking, okay, Michelle.
If you are aware where I have a campaign sign that it shouldn't be, because this is my first time putting signs out, you are more than welcome to contact me at 813-763-2645. Let me know the location, and I will go move it or have someone to move it. If any of them belong to me, I do apologize.
Would anybody else like to comment?
Yeah, ditto. My number is 863-605-1338.
I'm sure everybody will get that.
Also, I didn't put all the signs out myself, so
Okay.
I I would comment on that. Based on my observation, the majority of the signs are in the public right of way. And I'm distressed about that. I've made every effort. My signs are not in the public right of way, although, like Keith says, that we always don't put in our own signs. But I'll guarantee you, folks, the majority of the signs are in the public right of way, and they shouldn't be there.
Okay. Our next question. Over the last year, our current mayor has declined proclamation days for gay pride and equal pay. Are you a representative of all citizens? Would you work to make equality again something the city supports?
I think feedback.
Oh, it's there.
There we go.
I'm sorry, just a hesitation.
I had recently, I was stopped at Walmart. That was supposed to be like a 10-minute thing that ended up being like 30 minutes, but it's okay. And the thing is, for me, I'm not gonna push anything on anyone. I'm not gonna let anything be pushed on me. What I'm going to do is treat everyone fair. I'm gonna have the same conversation with someone that's gay, that's straight, that's whatever the situation, whoever the person may be. I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm here to be fair, give my vote, listen to you. Hopefully you're gonna listen to me because it's a two-way street. We all are here. If we're respecting one another, listening to one another, that's it for me. We should be treating each other with respect. I'm gonna treat you, everyone, not just one person, across the board.
I don't know, but here's what I will say. I do think it's interesting that proclamations are being decided by one person in the city. I think they should be brought to the full commission to decide. I don't know how that happened. I have no idea, but I would encourage, if I'm elected or not elected, for that to stop and for the entire commission to vote on it. Proclamations are all different, so I would like the opportunity to redo it, but I think we elect a commission to make decisions like that, and I think we should be allowed to talk about it as a group and come to a decision on the different proclamations. So that's what I think.
Thank you.
Maybe I should not let Keith go.
You want to say Judah?
As if elected commissioner, no, we're not gonna, I plan on not judging anyone. I talk to all different type of people with insurance, all different walks of life. I'm not sure if there was a breakdown with, the proclamation, or just a breakdown of communication. It wasn't made very clear, but I would wanna make sure that, like he stated, not just one person looking at the proclamation, we wanna make sure it's looked at thoroughly. Now, I do know that our current elected mayor did make a statement at the very end, and he stated that the proclamation was different from what was read. He did say if it was, I guess, adjusted or something, that he would come back and he would be happy to present it. So I hope that presentation gets back to the commission.
Thank you.
For me, this one is easy. I'm a lawyer. I know what a fiduciary responsibility is, and I know what representation is. I represent the people of Lake Wales. I don't represent anybody in Haines City or Bartow or anything else like that. I'm a representative of the Lake Wales citizens. As far as I'm concerned, any Lake Wales citizen who is law-abiding and tax-paying is entitled to the same safety, security, and respect as every other citizen, regardless of who you are or where you live. For me, you're a Lake Wales citizen, Easy.
Thank you. Okay, our next question. Our interim commissioner, Danny Kruger, has publicly stated that electric cars are a fad. Yet most major auto manufacturers are converting their fleets to electric. Would you support installing charging stations in public spaces? We'll just go yes, no, yes.
Yeah, sure. Sure, absolutely.
I'm gonna have to say, I'm not sure because some of the electric cars that I've been seeing on television that just go on and do what they want by themselves, I don't know about that.
Well, I know that Mr. Gibson needs to charge his car, he's gonna need a charging station. If it doesn't involve raising taxes, I'm for it if someone has electric, that needs electric for the charging station.
Robin, did you want to comment? Would you support it?
Would I support it? I need to get from A to B in my electric car. The Lake Wales Connected Plan already calls for 2 charging stations. And charging stations, electric cars, fact of life, my friends, a fact of life. It's the same as moving from horse and buggy to the gas engines, and now from the gas engines to the electric. So that's an easy one also.
Okay. This one's a little bit different angle. How would you start or increase public transportation within the city? Sorry, Dennis, I didn't do that. Isn't that one?
Yeah, I actually think it's yours. It's the speaker speaking back, it was yours.
When you pick it up, it stops. Okay, well, go ahead.
Who wants to jump in?
This is the question was, how would you start or increase public transportation within the city?
Well, I mean, I think the first part is to encourage the Lake Wales Connected Plan, which is to mobilize people. As I understand it, that's part of the goal of that. Public transportation is expensive, and it depends on where you want to go with this. It's quite complicated, and my encouragement would be, as a city, as we expand our vision and connected plan, that we would do a serious study on that and see which options are best for us to employ here in the city. Right now, I don't have any specific things to do other than I'm encouraged by the connected plan, moving people, not just cars or vehicles.
Thank you.
Okay, I would say I would want a partnership with is it the Citrus Connected Plan with the county? I do know that some public transportation does run in certain areas, but we can improve and have a better partnership with the county to make sure we can maybe get HUDs or in certain areas or maybe get extra stops.
I made an inquiry. Citrus Connection, of course, has public transportation going. And they have a program or a proposal, which I think we should explore, which is to use kind of a local version of that in Lake Wales. And I think that is certainly worthy of exploration.
I only have seen maybe 3 stops that I see regularly from the bus. And I just have to agree with what Danielle said, with possibly more stops. I would love to see actually a few taxis, but because a lot of distance around here, we can walk. A lot of places before I moved to where I was now, I rode a bicycle for a long time. And then, you know, was got a car, but the thing is, and we could set it up and then make it reasonable. Everyone, you know, prices of everything is going up. And with some, that may be the way to go, and just make sure if we're going to continue, you know, with our buses, with the Connect plan, not the Connect plan, the Citrus Connection, just get with them to see what we can do to make it better and affordable.
Thank you. Next question. What steps could the city commission take to ensure that the voices of women, minorities, and less financially secure citizens from our community are given a fair hearing?
As a minority, a black female, stepping out to get her own business, I had to learn a lot on my own. I didn't really have anyone to say, well, Michelle, this is how you do this, or you look into this. I Googled a lot, I read a lot, I would call different places that would give me, you know, a little information. But for our city, it would be really good if we had a direct location for the business owner, minority owners, one, to learn about business. Sometimes we just don't have the capital to step out. I was just blessed and worked hard, where I had a great support system with my family and friends. Even now with my business, not having to pay out as much for them that work with me. But being able to have a location to go to help the minorities for capital, or teach us how to do it and to build and become a business owner and entrepreneurs.
Thank you.
We have to pay attention. We have to be attentive to those voices, not dismissive or minimizing. It is not the same thing as thinking or even communicating. Paying attention is hard. It requires you to take a step back and see more of the landscape, more of the world. And it takes a certain discipline to be able to do it. People who feel minimized, neglected, don't always know where to turn or where to go. And so you have to be able to look at the signs and pay attention to the signs, and oftentimes help people to the door of opportunity that they need to go. I think that is incumbent upon all of us as citizens, and that communication back and forth with leaders is important.
Thank you. Yeah.
My personal take on that is being an icebreaker. A lot of the stuff that I learned on my own. Just going out into the world, being able to being given opportunities to learn things. I would say for minority, I know that we have the Beach Street Community Center in the Northwest community. That's walking distance for a lot of people. We have the James P. Austin Community Center for minorities. I would like to see maybe more programs being held at those locations. Actually, to speak at the lake. Oops.
I'm sorry.
At the Citrus Boys and Girls Club, we have a lady named her name is Miss Daybell. I actually met her here last year during the mayor candidacy, and what she does, she has a youth entrepreneurship program, and she's actually going in twice a month teaching our minority kids about business and how to set up a business plan. So maybe when you guys are free, you can stop by and see them. That would be great.
Thank you. Apparently, electric vehicles are not a fad. We got another question about it. Would the electric charging stations in the city be free or for pay?
I don't think Robin got the answer.
Well, Robert, sorry.
That's all right. The question had to do with discrimination against women. What was the question? Was it a fair hearing? Was that what it was?
What steps could the city commission take to ensure that the voices of women, minorities, and less financially secure citizens from our community are given a fair hearing.
That's what I thought, a fair hearing. Here's something that I have never said in public before, but I've said it often in private. About women. Just look at the statistics. They're smarter than we are. Look at the scores in schools. And they have a better value system than we do. Just look at the population in the prisons. As far as a fair hearing is concerned, we've made a good stride on that City Commission because of the recent changes on public comments. And it's open to everybody. And so the question was fair hearing. Everybody's got a fair hearing.
Thank you. Any other man want to talk? Okay, let me repeat this one. It said, would the electric charging station in the city be free or for pay? If free, why should taxpayers pay this cost?
I don't have an electric vehicle, so I've never even looked at one of these charging stations, so I have no idea. I don't think it's free. Is it? Anybody know? Robin, is it free? I don't think it should be free. It is an energy source, just like gasoline. It's different, obviously, but the gasoline pumps don't allow me to walk away free and clear. So I think the stations are there for people to recharge their vehicles, and they're going to have to probably pay.
Would anybody else like to comment?
I think when gas at the pump gets to be free, then these charging stations ought to be free.
Okay, is that enough on election? Okay. We've heard each of you talk about involvement. Many citizens would like to join boards and become more involved, yet the individuals selected are the same people. How will you change the application process, to incorporate a more diverse group?
Well, my understanding of it is this is another issue where the mayor has a lot of input on the selection on the boards and committees. And again, I don't think it's fair to put the mayor in that position. I don't think it's fair to the commissioners. I definitely don't think it's fair to the citizens. I think there needs to be a more collaborative and a more cooperative effort to find people who want to serve on these boards. I mean, this is another issue where where there's responsibility on the citizens. They have to make themselves known, and we have to listen to them when they make themselves known. And then we have to do the work to put them on the right committees and to avail ourselves of all citizens who want to be involved.
I had to apply to be a Lake Wells Housing Authority Commissioner on that board. The reason why someone happened to call me and thought I would be a great addition to the board, but if I had not been contacted, I wouldn't have really known that a spot was available. So I think that a better advertising to know what we're looking for, what organizations, what committee is looking, because I had no idea there was a availability on the board. And so even now, when things come up, yes, things are posted on the city page, but maybe we can post it other pages also so the citizens will know and may be interested in becoming a housing authority board member, school board, all of the boards, and let you know when these spots come available. Because I had no idea in reference to the seat for the commission for the housing authority board, but once I was contacted, I knew I wanted to be a part of it. So better transparency of what's available.
I would just say, make it easy for the residents to find it. I didn't know how to find it. I feel like we can definitely do some enhancements to the city's website so that it's easy to find it, with the newsletter or even the quick links. Just make it more accessible for the citizens so they can know the qualifications, how long the terms are, with wanting to be able to sit on the board.
Robin?
Here's the way it works. And I chaired the Charter Review Committee that elevated the position of the mayor, and so that we could have a true political leader as opposed to the administrator, the city manager being a political leader, which is the wrong thing to do. And the mayor makes the appointment, but it is subject to the approval by the city commission. So the city commission definitely has a voice in it. And we have emphasized the importance of the commissions and committees that previously were not populated in many cases. People didn't have an interest in it. We've done some things to cure that. Now we have more interest in those positions, and we have some very qualified people doing good work for us.
Next question. What actions would you take with fellow commissioners to combat misinformation spread throughout the community that's meant to cause division or hysteria?
One thing I recently did, it wasn't in reference of the commission, but there was a situation that came up for the Grand Marshal for the MLK. There was a lot of division in reference of who should be the Grand Marshal or who should do this or, and it was a lot of talk on social media in reference of it. So I took it upon myself and I called all of the organizations, those that were part of those meetings, to ask questions and get the facts. And I did a live on social media, and it's still there, under Michelle Threet, and you can still see it. It had to be maybe like January. And I named it Facts, Not Feelings. We have to state the facts. We have to, sometimes people get upset about what they think should be going on. As in the commission, we have to give the facts and not be hiding anything and just be honest. In that situation, once I did that live, several other organizations contacted me and said they were glad.
It's a cooperative effort, again, between elected officials and the citizens. Information, whether it's misinformation or accurate information, oftentimes is a matter of perspective and angle and how you're looking at it and how you're interpreting it and comprehending it. We've got to create an environment here in the city where we begin to once again trust one another, that we have the right intentions and that we're not purposely, no one's out there purposely spreading misinformation or false information. And if they are, and we bring the correct information to light, we've got to start believing and trusting in each other. That is a message that I find very compelling. I've never ever seen my marriage go forward very far when my wife and I fight it out. But when we cooperate with one another, great things begin to happen.
Any other comments?
A lot of times it's a breakdown of communication. If elected, what I would want to do, I would want to have myself available to be able to give that information to the commissioner. A lot of times people do things out of emotions. You have to take emotions out. And you just have to, like Michelle said, state the facts. But as a commissioner, I think it's your responsibility, guys, and tell the people, hey, this is exactly what it is. Because just because I said something doesn't mean I comprehend it the same way. That's just like a marriage. I can say something to my spouse, and he can take it another way with a breakdown in communication. So I think more communication with the citizens to let them know exactly what is actually being said.
Thank you. Robin?
My friends, this one should be easier than it really is. there are a lot of agendas out there. And in this country where we have this polarization and we have this sharp partisanship, we've got a little cocoon here in Lake Wales, and we have a little cocoon on this nonpartisan city commission with a mission. And we have an agenda. I have an agenda. I have a lot to do with the mission. Wherever your lives may be cast, make you the world a bit better or more beautiful for your having been here. That's our mission, not any of this baloney that's going on in Washington, D.C. to paralyze our country. We got a situation here we can handle, we're manageable, let's do it.
Okay, this I think will be the last question, and I think it's a good one. Do you feel any concern with the makeup of the current 3 other commissioners that your vote on an issue will not matter?
What makeup? What do you mean by that?
I think the implication is that the 3 other commissioners, if they want things a certain way, that as the next commissioner, your vote isn't going to matter. That's kind of the question. And how do you feel about that?
Well, I think your vote always matters because it is symbolic of what you stand on and believe. Regardless if you win the argument or lose the argument, I believe as a leader and as commissioner, you have to vote and explain your vote and vote with conviction, with the facts as you understand them, as they presented themselves to you. So I don't really see a vote ever being wasted as long as it is communicated clearly with conviction and with passion and with goodwill and good intent.
Thank you.
I only can speak for one person's vote, and that's mine. And my vote is always going to be fair. My vote is I'm going to listen. I don't have one problem or issue talking with men. I worked at the Hardy Correctional Prison System for 5 years before I went to the Polk County Sheriff's Office. It was 1,500 men, closed case, murderers, rapists, and you name them. I stood up with them, and I'm always going to stand up for rights. And if I be the only one standing alone with my one vote, that's what I'm going to do.
I would just say all votes matter. I would want to make sure I'm looking at all sides. It's not about me, it's about making the right decision for the residents of Lake Wales.
Thank you, that's great. Robin, did you want to comment?
This is probably my favorite question of the evening. Think about this. The fact that you might be in an elected position and you lose a vote. There's a disease going on in the country where people refuse to lose in a fair contest. And I would say to anybody, you haven't lost anything? Have you ever played any sports? I've tried cases, I've played sports, I've been on the losing side of votes with a city commission. That's all part of life. Let's roll with it. Thank you.
Greg Massey, citizen of Lake Wales. I have a question for the commission or for the forum.
Excuse me, can everybody hear him in the back?
I'll talk a little louder. Alright. The question I have is that when it comes to communication for the citizens, it's a two-part question that I have. I've noticed that I've been dealing with the commission for quite a while. I've had several businesses here. But when it comes to communicating, my number one problem I've always had, and a lot of other people, is that I believe that we have deaf ears and blind eyes to a lot of the cries of the citizen. I know Robert has been on the commission for quite a while, and he's done his part. But the question to the new candidates is that, would you or could you afford to have be different when it comes to a question being opposed? When your citizens come to you to ask something that they feel a concern for their community, is that something you're going to be able to withstand and be able to make a different vote compared to what the other commissioners has already put forward?
Mr. Massey, what I would say is not about me. When I decided to run for city commission, it's about the residents. Being in public service, you can't be deaf or dumb to any citizen's question or concern. I think that's very important that we need to put those matters first. And I like to tell you, I would do my best if elected to make sure that I'm doing my part as an elected official to make sure those concerns are addressed.
What I would say, Mr. Massey, is for me, I'm not gonna tell you what I'm going to do, I can tell you what I've already been doing. For the last 4 years, I've listened to the citizens and in my community. For the last year and a half, I've been the Northwest president of the association. So I talk with a lot of the citizens. Some citizens don't wanna go to that podium at the city commission on the 1st and 3rd. So sometimes I've gone to speak to be a voice for our citizens. Our citizens, my neighbors, I love our city, I love our community. And if I have to stand alone, as I said previously, I don't mind standing alone because I'm gonna stand for what's right. I'm going to listen to the people because the people are the ones who elect us. I just can't make a decision that's concerning the people without talking to the people. That's not fair, nor that is right. That's accountability and transparency.
Thank you.
I think the basic answer to your question is yes, I can listen with open ears and open eyes and see a multitude of different approaches and angles and ideas. It is basically, the question is about multitasking multiple voices over across the city, because it's not just one person that elects you, it's a group of singular people who elect you. They all have one vote, and they have many different voices. So yeah, that's the complicated part of being a commissioner, is listening to the voices and coming up with a decision that benefits the majority of the residents of Lake Wales.
Robin, did you want to comment?
This is an extension of the previous question because this does two things. One, the American way, there's a vote, there's a school board, there's a contest, and there are winners and losers. And you move on. That pertains to me as a ball player, to me as a city commissioner, and to citizens as citizens. They can't win all of them either. And so the second part of the answer to that question is, and that shows you how important these elections are. Because who are making the decisions for the citizens? The persons that the citizens elect.
Thank you.
One other question I'd like to ask is that for the Northwest community, as commission, if elected, what difference? I noticed that we have the Connect that's going on, we have the Dover Coal Plans that's going on, we have several opportunities that's actually revitalizing the city of Lake Wales. I noticed that a lot of that gets to the railroad tracks when it crosses over and stops. As an elected commissioner, or as a sitting commissioner, do you see in the near future something that's going to generate or revitalize that part of town where nobody really goes but the residents that's there?
I live in the Northwest community, and I ride around often over the entire city. And do you see a difference when you come across the track? Yes, you do. But we shouldn't. I want to see everything. Look, I should be able to come off of 27 onto Washington, ride through Washington, come across East Street, come up Central or Scenic, and we don't know where we at. That's what I envision. I want us to all, we say we're gonna connect, then let's connect. We all should be connected. We have a meeting coming up, actually, I think it's in 2 weeks, in reference of meeting someone, of speaking and discussing some things in reference of the Connect Plan for the Northwest community. I received that email actually this morning. So we'll be meeting and then get involved with the citizens of the Northwest, or what would you like to see?
Thank you, Michelle.
The Lake Wales Envision Plan is comprehensive. It includes the Northwest section. It's a plan for all of Lake Wales, not just parts of Lake Wales. And I fully support it, and I would encourage, because I believe the meetings are going to be at Bok Tower for Lake Wales Envision, and I would encourage the citizens to come out and take a look and see ways that our whole community is going to be improved by this very, very wonderful and comprehensive plan.
Either one of you like to comment?
I actually had an opportunity to sit in at a meeting with the CRA regarding the Lincoln Business District. And I think it's just gonna be very important if people come with a plan, they gotta execute their plan. There were about 8 businesses that said they wanted to come on the Lincoln District, and it's been well over a year and I haven't seen anything. So I think if we're gonna say we're gonna do something, we gotta do it. Let us stick to our guns and do it. I have a great grandmother that lives in the Northwest community, and she was just talking to me yesterday about certain things. So I say, hey, I want to make sure I do my part to make sure we don't see any difference. If we're saying we're connected, we need to make sure it looks connected.
My Lord, we have had more activity in the Northwest section than we have in downtown. We have had the affordable housing that has been built up there. Just go up and down Beach Street. And it's more than that. The legacy housing with the all of the programs working together. Some of the happiest and warmest dedications we've had are for the homes that have been redone as a community thing. I got a whole list here, and I'm being flashed 30 seconds. The trees, the sidewalks, all of them are going in. The business incubator that's going on Lincoln Street. I'm paying for a facade renovation down there myself. It's just a thrill as to the things that are occurring. They're very, very proud of it, and a lot of people have benefited, and it's going to get even better.
Thank you. Okay, I think I haven't seen the cuts done. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Very good questions, very polite attention. Thank you all. And thank you very much to our candidates. We appreciate it.